Hello and welcome to Louisville Now. I'm John Ramsey, your host, and as you may know, our mission is to let you know, keep your fingers on the pulse of what's happening in our community. And so much happens in this building, the South Louisville Community Center. That's where we're coming from right now, and I'm fortunate to have David Rice with me. He is the supervisor here for the South Louisville Community Center. David, first of all, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for being here.
All right, you and I are both U of L fans, so we got that going for us. Okay, there is so much going on here. I'm looking at tutoring services, camps, all kinds of activities. If you could, give me a little bit of an overview of everything that happens here.
Well, we're a community center. We're one of 15 dotted throughout the city. We're open 45 hours a week, 11 to 8 on 11 to 8 on Monday through Friday, and then Saturday 12 to 5. We have programs and activities for kids, going all the way up to senior services. So senior exercise, we have youth crafts and art and athletic leagues and things of that nature.
You know, the theme of this show and many of our shows seems to be improving quality of place where people live. And that's what a community center should be, about all of the community. If you had to state your mission, is that pretty much it, David?
There's a kind of a saying is that we help raise everyone's kids, because they come here and they're here as much as they're at home. They come here for just to have fun, have activities, have a place to go. We have our food programs where we feed the kids during the week, and some of them might be their only meal they get that day. So we're like a second home to these youths. Yeah,
and I realize you have a lot of partners, and I hate to focus on one, but Dare to Care.
Yes.
They step in quite a bit, don't they?
Yes, Dare to Care. We have a program called Kids Cafe where the kids come about 4:30 to 5 o'clock during the week after school, and we'll feed between 20 and 25 kids every day.
Wow.
And they'll get a nutritious meal, something to drink, and then they can come enjoy the facility.
Yeah, there's lots of, necessary services, what I call necessities, but there's also lots of fun here. And I hate to focus on any one entity or any one thing that you do, because you do so much, but those camps that you have. Tell me about the fall camp, spring camp, summer camps.
We do camps for all the seasons. Fall break camp, spring break camp is during the week of JCPS break. And then winter break camp is during the break between the semesters. And then the big one is the summer. We'll do an 8-week camp. It'll go right after the school ends and right up to the week before school starts. So it's an 8-week camp. There will be activities, planned programming every day, supervised activities, field trips every week. And then we'll feed the kids as well during that times. And it's a great way for them to have something to do during the day when mom and dad have to work. And then and they'll come about 8 a.m. Mom and dad will pick them up about 5. So, during the hours of work time, the kids are in a safe place.
Yeah, it enables the parents to be able to work, know they're in a safe place, having fun as well, because there seems to be a lot of similarities between what you do and a public school. But with that being said, more of an emphasis on make sure the kids are engaged and having fun.
Correct. What we do is we do planned activities. It's not just taking the ball and throwing it out in the gym and saying, here, you guys go. We will have art programs. We'll have gaming. We'll have crafts. We'll do some organized activities in the gym. And it's not just basketball. We'll have indoor soccer. We'll have volleyball. We'll have floor hockey, dodgeball. Whatever we can come up with during that day to let the kids have fun with.
David, I want to come here. Sounds like fun. Okay, so this is interesting to me, though, because there is also, though, that educational component. When I opened the segment up, I talked about tutors being available here. So maybe if a kid is struggling in school, parents make you aware, you can direct them and help them in that area as well?
Correct. We have an after-school tutoring program called I Would Rather Be Reading, and they come during the school year at about 4:30 in the afternoon after the kids get out of school, and they will go till about 6. And it's not just school programming like reading and arithmetic and things like that. They'll also teach social skills. They'll teach interaction. So it's a free program that is independent of the public schools, but they do that during the school year, like I said, in the afternoons.
I like what you said about teaching kids about. I think to me, is like you said, speaking, being able to engage with people. There's some things that you just can't put on a chalkboard, and it's through talking to people like you, having people who are genuinely interested in them, and to present yourself well can go a long way. Also, I don't think there's enough being said. I don't want to jump on my soapbox here, but the value of reading. You know, you can go different places without leaving a building. You learn about things and you become more interesting in conversation. All this ties together, doesn't it, Dave?
Yes, absolutely.
I love hearing this. For folks who may be watching Louisville Now, and maybe they live in this area and they say, I'd like to get involved, or maybe you'd like to get involved with another community center. Where do they go? Where can they get more information, David?
The website is called bestparksever.com, and you can go get information about all the centers, as well as all the other activities going on around Metro Parks.
I would assume, David, that you have some really good stories. You see kids who maybe come in here a little bit shy and to themselves, maybe they've got issues at home or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're just naturally shy. Do you get stories like that and you see a young man or a young woman and you go, wow, we made a difference? That has to be rewarding.
It's neat to see the light go on.
Yes, here we go. Talk about that.
I'll tell you one of our stories with we partner with the police Activities League.
Yeah.
And it's a
PAL. Yeah.
PAL. They do a outreach program where they interact with children and other community members in a positive relationship. So we partnered with them and did chess and archery this fall. And one of the things that happened with chess, and I won't forget this, is the first night, mom and dad and their two kids, they came in, they'd never played chess before. And they came in, they interacted with everybody, learned how to play, learned how the pieces moved. And when they were done, they said, you know, when we go home, we're going to go on Amazon and buy a chessboard. So,
wow.
And that was because the kids were having so much fun.
Fantastic. Right.
So, you know, it's that kind of story.
I love hearing stories like that.
It's that kind of story that kind of validates what we do.
Okay, checkmate. Good call there, man. That's well said. David Rice, supervisor here at the South Louisville Community Center. Coming up here on the show, we're going to talk about more positive things that are happening. Food drives, events, awards, all kinds of good things right here in District 3. We'll be right back on Louisville Now.
Want to know what's happening in your city? Metro TV shows your government in action. Metro TV is the only place you will see every minute of Metro Council meetings live. Be informed, be prepared, be a part of our community. Stay connected with Louisville Metro TV on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube, and Spectrum Cable Channel 184. Metro TV, engage, empower, entertain.
Welcome back to Louisville Now. I'm your host, John Ramsey, and a big part of our mission on Louisville Now is to let you know what's happening in our community. Of course, one of the all-stars of the community is District 3, and one of the all-stars is, of course, Councilwoman Shameka Parrish-Wright, who joins me now. We need to catch up. I haven't seen you in a while. How are you?
I'm doing great, John. Honored to be right here in the heart of it all, South Louisville Community Center.
Yeah, lots happens here. We're talking about that a lot on the show, but a lot happens in District 3 as well. So I see you smiling. Give me the update.
Well, you happen to be right in the dead middle of District 3, and I'm honored to be here. It's a major artery to community. They're coming off an amazing weekend. We had our Building Our Blocks this past weekend and chili cook-off in one of our 3 Metro-owned parks, Waterston Lake. And so now we're moving towards our Good Neighbor Awards, which is happening on November the 29th. We're taking nominations in. We've opened that back up until November the 15th. And we're getting people nominating their good neighbor for what they do for the seniors, what they do for our young people, how they show up for community, how they protect their community. And last year we had 38 winners. So the second annual Good Neighbor Awards tends to be one of our bigger ones, and we're excited about it.
Like a good neighbor, District 3 is there.
That
okay.
is so true.
Okay, I'm going to steal that commercial.
Yeah, we said with District 3 it's handled, but we can say District 3 is there.
You know, before I get into the details of the awards, you know, you do have a lot of important initiatives and things you're trying to get done in District 3, but a big part of it is, and the mayor talks about this often, quality of place. You want to make sure people enjoy where they live. This is a part of that, right?
Yes, it is. We want to take care of our neighbors. Our neighbors lift up our communities. In our district, we have just about as many renters as we do homeowners, and we have a thriving small business community. And so what we've been doing with our team is lifting up all of those entities because they make our neighborhood safe. They give us the things we need. We're able to spend those dollars inside those communities. And everybody cares about beautification. They want to age in place. They want to make sure they can have a home to go home to. And so District 3 is the heart of it all.
So the Good Neighbor Awards, the second annual, if you would, tell me about some of the categories. I know we got to build up the anticipation. We don't want to talk about nominees yet, but maybe some of the categories, if you
The
would.
categories are around beautification. We noticed that a lot of our neighbors are worried about how their yard looks, how their street looks. So we want to lift up those neighbors who take care of the whole community. Neighbors who also take care of their seniors, the seniors in their community, making sure they're fed, especially in these times of need, making sure they're talking to them, they're cutting their lawns, they're checking on them. Neighbors that work with our young people, making sure that they have a place where they can survive and thrive and get to school and home safely, and making sure we lift up the neighbors who build community by doing what we do right here at the South Louisville Community Center. Every month we have meetings where people from all 12 of our neighborhoods come right here to talk about issues, to help us work on policy, and to help us stay connected to Metro government and reduce the red tape. So we're honoring all those neighbors that get involved in their community.
So the South Louisville Community Center, where we stand right now, and what you do, Councilwoman, are similar in that, yes, we're going to do what we can. The Metro government's going to do what they can. Mayor Greenberg, you're going to do what you can. But it's also about, hey, everyone jump in and be a part of the answer. Talk a little bit about the importance of that.
It is important. I mean, just really standing on the things I even ran on. We deserve better, and we get there together. No one entity, no one person, no one organization, no one faith group is solving all of our issues by themselves. We have to work together and meet those needs. And we're able to do that, whether it's hunger, whether it's rental assistance, whether it's making sure utilities are on. We do that work together. And we talk to people. We help people understand why a car should be towed or why they've been cited. We help work with codes and regulations. And we have an amazing small city inside of District 3, which is Shively. We work together with the Shively mayor and the Shively City Council to make sure that all of our priorities line up together. And with the help of Mayor Greenberg, we have all chipped in on the Shively splash pad, where we all contributed to make sure this is the first big investment we've seen from the city of Louisville. The District 3 and Shively alone contributes over $9 million back into our city budget, but we haven't always seen investment coming in a two-way street. So now we get to do that together. So that is the whole community. Those of us who are elected and in decision-making positions are doing our part, and those of us who are neighbors are taking care of one another. Our job as a community and as a team is to bring those pieces together, and that's what we're doing.
You know, you would hope that folks who are watching Louisville Now, and I'm sure a lot of them do, they have the same agenda you do. They want a better community. They want to help. They want to pitch in. But whose idea was to reward them for that? The Good Neighbor Award is kind of a way to go, hey, we notice what you're doing. Thank you, right?
Yes, we want to foster good neighbors, and so the best way to do that is to lift up the ones that are consistently showing up. We have one of our district advisory board members, Leslie Graham, and Ron Norfleet, who come to our meetings. Ron's yard stays immaculate. I mean, I'm embarrassed looking at my yard versus his.
I have a neighbor like that.
Exactly. And so Leslie Graham said, let's find a way to honor and lift up the people who've been good neighbors for a very long time. A lot of people in our district have been relocated for many reasons, and one part of our district, the Jacobs neighborhood, they were relocated with airport expansion, and they've been fighting to get a fence replaced. I am proud to say that when I leave here today, we get to go have a meeting to start on that process. It's taken years, 3 other council members before me to get this done. And so because our problems are sometimes on a longer timeline, we have to work with neighbors, work with electeds together to make sure that we get those things done. So this Good Neighbor Award is an example of community coming together.
So for folks who want more information, or maybe I don't know if tickets are still available.
Yes.
If they want more information, where would they go, Councilwoman?
They can go to Louisville. Okay, here we go. LouisvilleKY.gov/District 3. If they go there, they can nominate a neighbor. They can get more information about the Good Neighbor Awards. It's November the 29th. It's at the Shively Heritage Center on November the 29th from 1 to 3. It's actually free. You don't need a ticket. You can come in, but we do want you to nominate. If anybody is in any of our 12 neighborhoods in District 3, they can come. We don't divide people by where their address is. We look at their whole neighborhood. So yes, this is a free event, November the 29th from 1 to 3. So after you're finished putting up the Thanksgiving food, come and join us at the Good Neighbor Awards. It's that Saturday.
Thank you for sharing the information. I appreciate it. I promise you this, though. My yard would not qualify when it comes to beautification.
Mine barely qualifies.
Okay. Once again, of course, Councilwoman Shameka Parrish-Wright doing great things in District 3. And maybe you or your neighbor qualify for the Good Neighbor Awards. We'll be back after this on Louisville Now. Copper wire theft is robbing us of our safety. Thieves are targeting our essential infrastructure, darkening roadways, disrupting emergency services, shutting down internet networks, and causing over $1 million in damages just last year. Copper wire theft is illegal. Mayor Craig Greenberg's Copper Wire Theft Task Force is getting results, but your help is needed. If you see something suspicious, call Crime Stoppers at 502-582-CLUE. You could get a $5,000 reward. And welcome back to Louisville Now. I'm your host, John Ramsey. Time to talk about some fun stuff. With me now is Brooke Pardue. She is the president and CEO of the Parks Alliance of Louisville. And when I say fun stuff, you're coming off a big event. That Jack-o'-lantern spectacular is just that. It's spectacular. How'd it go?
It went really well. I will say that we did have more rain this October than we have had in the last few years, but we managed to get through and once again, for the fourth year in a row, had more than 100,000 visitors to the event.
Wow.
So
wow. That's a big one.
Super excited about that.
As you should be, and despite the rain, I think people know it's a unique experience. There's nothing like it anywhere in the country, is there?
No, there really isn't. There are two other cities where you can see, Jack-o'-lantern spectacular, but they are at the Providence Zoo and the Minnesota Zoo. So the fact that our trail goes through the amazing woods at Iroquois Park, it is a one-of-a-kind event.
Brooke, what you do, of course, I've been focusing here on Iroquois Park, but Parks with an S, Alliance of Louisville, you do so much more. What is your emphasis right now? Let's talk about that.
Well, I will say that overarching, what the Parks Alliance does is we advocate for additional funding from Louisville Metro for our public parks. We educate the community on how vitally important our public parks are to our health, to the environment, they reduce crime. They're just a critical part of any great city's infrastructure. And then we also advocate and activate donors to support our priority projects. And one of the projects that we're working on right now is G.G. Moore Park, which is just down the street from where we're standing right now.
Yeah, I was going to mention G.G. Moore Park because, admittedly, not familiar. So familiarize me and the viewers here on Louisville Now.
So during our Parks for All initiative, which we conducted in 2022 and launched in 2023, we did a deep dive into the condition of every single one of our 124 parks. And then we looked at the condition of the neighborhoods that those parks serve. We looked at historic investment, and G.G. Moore Park has actually not seen any investment in more than 20 years. So it is, everything there is well beyond its lifespan. And so we've been working really closely with the community to identify what it is that they want to see in this park. And then we are going to completely reimagine the park. Basically tearing down everything that's there and starting over again. The feedback that we've gotten has been incredible. What we have learned through the process is amazing. When we did Alberta Jones Park in the California neighborhood, we thought at the time that that was the first park in the state of Kentucky named after a Black woman. Turns out that G.G. Moore is Georgia G. Moore. She lived in the late 1800s, early 1900s. She was a suffragist. She was an educator. She was she was a poet. They referred to her as the Phyllis Wheatley of Kentucky. So not only are we going to be able to completely reimagine this park, but we're going to be able to tell Georgia's story.
Wow. So another reason to be proud of Louisville, and you've got to be proud of the work that you're doing at G.G. Moore Park.
Yeah, we really are.
There seems to be somewhat of a renaissance and revitalization of parks. The mayor talks often, Mayor Greenberg talks often about quality of place.
Yes.
And to enhance that, that not only helps us retain talent here in Louisville, but also to attract talent. If I'm coming in with a family, I'm going to take a look around at our parks and say, hey, my kids, can they enjoy life here? And as an adult, I enjoy going to a park. You kind of touched upon the importance of that, but that is the mission, right?
That is absolutely our mission. And I will say, when we were doing the Parks for All initiative, we did a citywide poll. and asked people lots of questions about how often do you use parks? What do you want to see in our parks? One of the questions that we asked was, what makes a city a great place to live? And first was safety. Second was, First was safety. Second was schools.
Okay.
And third was parks. It beat out affordable housing. It beat out all sorts of things that you would not really understand unless you did this type of poll. But our public parks are so beloved,
yes,
so used. 96% of the people polled said that they or a family member had been into a park in the last year. 87% of those folks said that it was a Louisville Metro public park. I mean, this is, investing in our public parks is something that impacts every single person.
Yeah, and there are some, and me included, who go to a park weekly, monthly.
Right.
And I'm very proud of that, and I'm very aware because traveling a little bit, a lot of cities don't have what we have in terms of parks. So I mentioned that there was a lot going on, this renaissance of, revitalization of parks. Give me some highlights. Some folks may not be familiar with some of the things. You mentioned the splash pad. Talk about some of the things that have been done in the last couple of years.
Well, I would say for the Parks Alliance, Alberta O. Jones Park in the California neighborhood, that's been our largest project. We are getting ready by spring to finish kind of Phase 1A. We still have Phase 2 that we're working on. Right now, Ballard Park in the Smoketown neighborhood is under construction. That'll open, completely reimagined. That will open in the spring. But I will say we still have a long way to go in Louisville.
Hey, that's fair.
Right now, we are investing in our parks to the tune of about $40 per cap, and our peer cities are at 107. So we are ranked 96th out of the 100 most populous cities. So while we have some really amazing parks, we do have parks like Ballard and Georgia G. Moore that really need significant investment, and that's what the Parks Alliance focuses on.
Brooke, thank you for what you do. Okay, that was really, to me, a reminder. Get out to your parks, enjoy them, because we have fantastic parks, and much of that is I'm thankful for to Brooke Pardue. All right, so once again, we're Louisville Now. We're going to be right back after these, and we'll talk more about positive things happening in Louisville. Yes, indeed, that's what it's all about here on Louisville Now. Welcome back to Louisville Now. I'm your host, John Ramsey, coming to you from the South Louisville Community Center. One of the great parts about my job is I get to meet people who are doing positive things in Louisville. I always say I'm proud to be a Louisvillian. This young lady is one of the reasons. She is Lisa Sutton, the Executive Director of the House of Ruth. Welcome in, Lisa.
Well, thank you, John. I'm delighted to be here.
You and I were able to have a brief conversation before the cameras were rolling, and you were really excited about some of the things that are happening for House of Ruth. Tell us about those.
Absolutely. So many good things at House of Ruth. One of them, the major one right now, is we are about to open a terrific new construction 40-unit apartment community for men and women who are aging with HIV. And the primary source of funding for that project is Metro Louisville and the American Rescue Plan funds from a few years back. Mayor Greenberg, as you know, has been a terrific, committed advocate for affordable housing. And that's the primary reason our community is about to begin leasing in December.
Oh, in December. Congratulations.
Yes, we are very excited.
I know Mayor Greenberg attended the groundbreaking.
Yes.
And soon to be ribbon cutting.
Indeed.
So you said, Lisa, this is under the umbrella of affordable housing. This one with a more of a specialized mission, right?
Exactly. House of Ruth serves people with HIV and their household members who are unstably housed, who are living month to month in most cases, and really are in desperate need of safe and stable, affordable housing. And that is such a commodity in our community and a tough one to find for so many in need.
And from what I understand, there's a food pantry kind of association here with the new facility, right?
Absolutely. We don't just house people with HIV and their household members, we also wrap around them the supportive services that they need to maintain that housing, either in our programs or in housing across our community in neighborhoods of their choosing. And one of those support services is our wonderful Dare to Care sponsored food pantry just for our clients. Part of our new community with the 40 units includes a dedicated food pantry building. So timely right now because our clients, like everyone else who lives on a modest income in this community, are really struggling to know and to assure themselves and their families that they're going to have enough to eat.
You make a great point. Right now, it's never been more appropriate, more timely to help folks, those in need. And I know you're with the House of Ruth, but you work in close association, as you mentioned, with Dare to Care.
Yes.
I think, it wouldn't be bad, Lisa, to take this time, a little bit of a pitch for people to jump in and help, right?
Absolutely. Contribute in any way you can to Dare to Care or one of the many organizations like House of Ruth and others who are working hard right now to make sure our families have enough to eat. And one of the focuses we've always had at House of Ruth is creating happy holiday celebrations for our households. It's really important to us that our families know they're going to have an enjoyable holiday meal every holiday season, and our focus this year is the Thanksgiving meal. So we are in the midst of a drive to get cash and food donations for Thanksgiving food baskets for our families. We are going to hand out 60 bulging bags of Thanksgiving food items later this month. So we certainly welcome anyone who would like to partner with us in that effort to do so.
Once again, you're stressing the appropriateness and the timeliness of making a donation now. We come up to the holidays. Everyone deserves a great holiday meal. You do so much at the House of Ruth. Food drives, affordable housing, helping those in need, those who perhaps, are looking at a smaller window than most of us have.
Right.
This has to be rewarding work for you, your partners, your staff.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the folks that you want to say, hey, thank you so much to.
We have so many great partners and a very committed staff of 25 who make our work possible, not to mention our wonderful board of directors, committed volunteers who give so much of their time and their resources to further our mission of providing supportive, affordable housing for people with HIV and their family members. Unfortunately, the virus hasn't gone away in Louisville and in most major cities across the country. So it's still here, HIV, and there's still a critical need. If you have HIV and you don't have housing, you have no hope of taking your medications as prescribed, of seeing your doctors as needed to manage the virus. So that's why it's so critical for our HIV positive clients and their families to have a safe place to call home.
Lisa, before I let you go, there may be someone watching Louisville Now. Maybe they're a general manager, an owner of a company, someone who sees your mission and says, okay, I'd really like to help. Where do they go? How do they do that? What's the first step?
The first step, I think we all have access to a computer or a smartphone, houseofruth.net. You can click on our Facebook page link there and see the list of items that we are actively seeking right now for our Thanksgiving baskets. And you can also hit the donate button and give cash for those items as well. And we really appreciate every dollar that comes our way. It really is true that every dollar matters, especially at this time in our country and at this time of the year.
Well, as I mentioned, I think I share this with a lot of folks, including people here at Metro TV, Metro Government, and the folks watching now. You make me proud to be a Louisvillian. Thank you for the work you do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your support.
Executive Director of the House of Ruth, that is Lisa Sutton. And by the way, we thank you for watching. Spread the word. We're on Roku, Apple TV, YouTube. We're all over, but tell your friends. And once again, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time on Louisville Now.